All right. Well, welcome everybody to the final seven tribal counter of Spellbound Survivor the Craft. First things first, Andrew, one. You won immunity. 1 in 6 chance of winning this game. How does it feel to have immunity?
It feels all right. As a person that doesn't usually win challenges in these things, the fact that I've been able to win a couple this season has meant a lot. But especially, people like to put a lot of emphasis on odd numbers. So it's fun to have immunity at an odd number if people are really going to, you know, put stock into that. So yeah, I'm enjoying having immunity. I hope that this is not the last one, but we'll find out.
And the weird thing about these challenges this season is that of the merge challenges thus far, 4 separate winners have emerged. It's almost like anybody could be safe. Anybody can win immunity at any point as long as the challenge just plays to their strengths. But considering that no one has emerged particularly as winning more than others, because everyone's had immunity at this point. Topher, does the physical game play a factor at all at this point as to who you vote off?
I think the physical gameplay is always going to be a factor because we come here to this land. We come as knights, we come as warriors, we come as those that want to succeed. And so, with that, the physical gameplay is always going to play a factor. When you set out to duel and you stand across from your opponent ready to joust, you must go forth and you must strike that shield and hope that you do not get knocked off your horse. Because if you do, then you will find yourself on the ground, and you better be able to compete just as well with a mace as you can with a joust. Otherwise, you will find yourself beheaded. And that is exactly like what is happening here tonight.
That's very interesting because it also, in your case, the first two people who won, Jeremiah won at 10, got eliminated right after at 9. Seb won at 9, then got eliminated early at 8. So there's so many different factors coming in. People with maces, beheading. Such a way with words, Tomer. But speaking of the 8 boot, there was a choice of words for the boot there. Mikey, what was the fallout like after that last vote, after last tribal?
I mean, it was definitely interesting. I think different people to different capacities thought that Seb was talking about them, and I know that, like, on a personal level, I love Seb so much. So like it hurt me to see him like that. But at the end of the day, game is game. I think he knows that. And I trust that once we have the ability to talk to him about it, there will be no bad blood. But it definitely was, it was very much like a surprise to all of us.
And seeing that type of strong reaction can have game ramifications as well. Lauren, he had choice words for you on the way out. But if Seb's last words were true, they had weight to it, and he's saying that not people don't talk to you much. Does that make you reevaluate who you trust in this game and what your strategy is thus far?
No, because I know what kind of game I'm playing. He never really talked to me, so I didn't really tell him much either. So it was kind of a two-way street.
All right, but of course, at this point, because whether it be him or every other subsequent jury member afterwards, you got to manage them to a way where they still feel good with voting for you. And if they don't, you better hope that the person sitting next to you, they respect a little bit less. But let's throw a hypothetical out there in the wind. Mikey, let's say hypothetically, do you think the jury would be more favorable towards you if you vote off the front runner, or will they hold it against you because you just voted off the person that they were rooting for?
I mean, there's really no way to know. Like, every game you play, the jury is going to have a different criteria for what they want to see in the winner. It comes down to the meta of the game that we were playing. It comes down to the format, and there are so many things that could affect a jury member's vote that you just always have to be conscious of, like, how the jurors are going out.
And of course, there's different ways to appeal to each juror. Going into that final tribal council, some will appreciate a big, flashy move as well. Some others are just the small subtle things, just showing that they're invested in them as a person and that you know about their personal life. Heather, how do you make sure that the next juror isn't mad at you or doesn't hold anything against you on the way out?
That's a great question because, I was very openly left out of the last vote. So if it's me tonight, I'm kind of like in that zone of like, oh, did people do that to me? And so it's like you want to keep doing it to other people, but it's hard because you don't know who to trust. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I gotta like actually discuss things with these people. And you start to realize a lot of things. And I think there's a lot of people who will appreciate whatever move. And this is a game. So as much as you don't want things to get personal and stuff like that, it shouldn't. And so jury management is always really, I'm rambling because I'm also eating pasta and I'm getting messages from my dad trying to be like, hey, I just boarded the plane. I'm like, okay, sorry. But yeah, I think jury management's very, very important, especially at this point of the game.
And with that comes how we've been scheduling everything and breaking up everything. So we would have the challenge right after tribal, and usually in most games, the next day, oh, it's tribal council. No, we give you that extra day to cool down in a sense, give you prep time for tonight. You had what was realistically 2 days after Andrew won immunity to determine who goes home. Nick, is that extra time helpful? Is it detrimental to the game? What is it?
No. What? Bestie. Everyone freaks out. But like the next day is like the first day we all like get to talk personal, not worry about gameplay. So that's fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I recall back to the live night, the revote going into from a 4-4, and an idol was played. 2 idols were played, mind you. A vote steal was in play, and it seems like a lot of chaos would ensue due to this format change. Topher, what is this? I asked this a while back, and I don't know who I asked this to. But now that we're approaching the end game, what does it say about this tribe? Is it still going to keep being chaotic?
So to bring up the idea of advantages, to bring this back to the jousting metaphor, sometimes you may be able to come at somebody with a perfect joust, right? The joust is perfect. You hit their shield and you knock them off. However, when you knock them off, their shield has now splintered, and a splinter of that shield has gone right through your neck. That is the equivalent of an idle play, right? You successfully landed that blow, except that person that received that blow is able to live another day, and you are the one that ended up failing in that instance. However, in this game, we have things called nullifiers, which means even if you do play the idol, then you will possibly be nullified. Therefore, you don't even have an idol. So I think that in this instance, there may be some speculation of idols or of nullifiers or anything of that nature. And ultimately, the point is moot because nothing can be done, and everyone will fall victim to what they are meant to fall victim to. And at the end of the day, to tie back into the jury question that you asked, the interesting part about being at final 7, right, on a 7-person jury, is that the majority is still here. The people that will decide who is the victor of Spellbound Season 2 are still sitting in this room, which means that every decision is pivotal, and the level of respect that you treat each other on the way out the door matters. And as more and more people fill up the jury house, they will discuss, they will ponder, they will say, do you feel that this was this person's move or this person's move? Do you feel that this was a just move? Was this a smart move? Because somebody may be going tonight, but this person that goes tonight will then greet the person that goes next, who will then greet the person that goes next. And ultimately that group think will start to make a decision that Jeremiah is the foreman on. And if there is any level of negativity that's in the jury house, they may feed that third person, which will then feed that fourth person. So we could be sitting upon a bitter jury here in the end.
And not to take away from everything you said after the fact, but I like this shield analogy that you came up with. And I think that even players themselves embody either one of a sword or one of a shield. Those are the two reactions, the reflexes you could have in the game. The swords are the people that throw their name out there, the people who are on the offensive, trying to seep doubt into people's minds, trying to paint a bigger target on somebody else. While the shields are the people we label as shields. They are best for our game because there's no reason why you would gun for me over the guy who's a shield for my game. They will protect me, or they may be forced to play that hand to defend their actions, to defend their integrity, to defend their honesty, how advantageous they are in this game. But Lauren, how do you get those shields out of it?
How do I get them out? By hoping that people see them as like a bigger threat. So you try to find people that are on the bottom. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, however you're able to get those shields out, it's depending on how strong and how firm that shield is. Because, like Topher said, something as much as thick as powerful as an idol can only be so powerful for one round. The second it's played, it's taken out of commission, then you have no shield. You have no protection for you. You're running rampant on that battlefield without any protection or any means of defending yourself. But in that, there's a question of how you navigate this game, knowing that there is a jury. Because on one hand, you don't want to take someone who's going to beat you at the end, but at the same time, you want to take people who will help get you to that point. Nick, what supersedes at this point? Does win equity mean more? Like, let me keep people in who I can beat, or does the people I trust and have loyalties to me matter more?
Well, after last tribal, and I've been pretty honest about this, is like trust with me is not. There's not a lot of it. I want to rebuild trust this round, and if I stay in this game, I hope trust has been rebuilt. And I think trust is the most important thing in this game. You have someone who you know is not coming after you till 3 or 4. Why you take them out here at 7 when you have all this other time that you can still go far with each other? So at this point in the game, you want to think about whose plans you're in and whose plans you're not, and that should be the people you're looking at taking out.
And being able to think that far ahead, because every choice that you make either maximizes or limits your options. I could vote off Tawny right here, and perfect, because I have all the numbers to do it. But now I can't get rid of Cam because Brian won't do it. So maybe I could have kept Tawny in the game. Each move that you make has repercussions. And for one of you particularly, while you survive this night, you don't know that you're going home the next one. Andrew, how do you project and foresee future events in this game, only having context of what's happened up until this point? How do you make the best move for you?
Well, it's funny you should ask. There's this thing in this game, and this game specifically, which, as everyone knows, I only care about this game specifically. And it seems like a lot of people care about a lot of other things. That's on them. There's this perception right now that, and I think it's bullshit, but that I potentially am a threat. Now I'm going to say why that is, I would say, not true. There have been 10,000 advantages in this game, and all 10,000 have gone to everyone else in this game except for me. The fact that, historically, if people want to look at outside the game contexts, which everyone is fucking guilty of, I don't do very well in challenges. And even going off the last vote, where I'm hearing, oh yeah, people are saying that it was all you, and it was it's all you, and blah blah blah, and you're a threat, and we have to make sure that you don't get far in this game. And it's like, well, by my count, there were 5 people that voted that way that round, and it were 5 people that were in the group that were all talking pretty consistently, and it wasn't just me saying, hey, you do this, hey, you do that. So the fact that I've been labeled as a scapegoat, one, yeah, it's very nice. Flattered, my God. But if we're being real, I feel like people need to label someone so that they can protect themselves. And why not do it to the person that does go around and ask people, hey, what would you like to do? Hey, what would you like to do? Because all of a sudden, people, people could buy into it. It's like, oh yeah, all shucks, this fucking guy, he's asking, but what is he really doing? So for me, the vote tonight, yes, obviously it's to save myself in future rounds, but I also understand that like there is a potential that I might have to Mike Holloway my shit through this game. And that's a scary thing to think about as someone who sucks at challenges, but that's why we sign up to play. I'm anxious, I'm excited, and don't worry, y'all. I mean, because I can't go home this round. Don't worry, y'all. I will not motherfuck you on my way out. Just letting you know that now.
What a perfect way to come full circle. We started with like the challenges, and now we're talking about Mike Hollowaying all the way to the end. What a fun way to just sort of wrap this up. But of course I have to mess this up because I asked everyone 2 questions except Heather. Since this is usually the part we do shout, should we be expecting another like unshout out for Alex tonight? That's my question.
No, because he's doing great things in life, and he's getting jobs, and I'm really proud of him. So I don't want to unshout out him tonight.
Well, perfect segue into shouting out people and finalizing their votes. Thank you, Heather, for providing me that. By all means, this is live. Shout outs are in order. People are watching this, I hope. But yeah.
As always, shout out the iconic fire making losers of Distortion season 2 and 3, Karen and Mac.
Shout out to Triumph because Jen and I won immunity in a game that we're not even playing in. So shout out to Triumph for inviting us to go do that. And all orgs should support other orgs. It's how we keep this system going.
Actually, I think I lied in one of my statements. Alex just said in my prod chat, hey, why are you saying nice things about me? It's illegal. So if it's illegal, I'm so sorry. I have to retract my proud of him statement. So sorry.
And shout out to Prod for putting together such an excellent cast of characters and people that I believe are all genuinely good-hearted right here. So good job, production.
Period. Shout out to production for hosting this game at all. Y'all didn't have to do it, but you did it for us.
I really want to go get a soda right now before I head to the airport.
Love a good sody pop.
Well, on that note, I have all the votes. If anybody has an idol or advantage that they would like to play, now is the time to do so. All right. The window has been closed. Once I read the votes, the person with the most has just a few moments to gather his, her, or their belongings and get the hell off my island. First vote, Topher. Second vote, Nick. Third vote, Lauren. That's 1 vote Topher, 1 vote Nick, 1 vote Lauren. Nick, That's 2 votes, Nick. Nick. 3 votes, Nick. 1 vote, Topher. 1 vote, Lauren. The 10th person voted off of Spellbound, Survivor the Craft, and the 3rd member of our jury, Nick. Nick, that's 4. That is enough. If you have any final words, by all means, now's your chance to speak up.
No, I had fun. We can all talk about it when you get to jury, and peace out. I'm driving, so someone needs to kick me from the call. Love you all.
We're not doing the challenge right now, correct?
No, we're not.
Okay, I think I'm also going to hop off. Good night, everyone. I love you.
Well, good luck, everybody, and congratulations.